Welcome back to Willie's Wisdom, where you can get advice from the world's greatest sage, Wille Wise. First up, a letter from Jill of Darwin, who says, "Dear Willie, my husband won't allow me to buy non-stick pots for our kitchen as he says they make the food taste funny. This of course leads to extra work for me in scouring our pans. Can you convince him that these modern marvels do not affect the flavor of food?"
I'm afraid I can't agree with you on this one, Jill. As you know, this non-stick thing was pioneered by the space race, but what is not generally known is that young NASA guys got it wrong. What they were supposed to invent was non-stick food. Imagine what a boon that would have been. You heard it here first.
And now Ricky from Inverness, who tells me we have been married for 12 years and the magic has gone out of our relationship. Can you suggest anything to reignite the spark?
What you must understand, Ricky, is that the marital shenanigans is constantly evolving. What kept your granny and grandpa happy just won't do for the modern couple. What I would suggest is that you get down to the library and get yourself one of those manual things with all the latest grips and holds. That should do the trick.
And Sven from Stockholm says, my wife and I both recently retired, and without the social pressures we previously had on us, we have decided to become nudists. However, we are unsure as to how we should proceed. Does one merely divest oneself of one's clothing and continue living normally?
I think it's marvelous that you have decided not to spend your twilight years vegetating, but have opted for fresh air and healthy living. I would suggest you try and find some kind of club to get information on how to live stark naked. But do remember that Sweden is a generally cold country and you shouldn't forget to slip on a warm coat and a scarf.
And Walter from Bordeaux tells us that at school the headmaster treats me like a slave. He has me sweeping floors and mopping up people's messes. I have to wash windows and carry things about all over the place, and at break time I have to patrol the playground to make sure the kids aren't messing about.
That's because you're the caretaker, you idiot.
Doug from Doncaster has this problem. I have had my eye on this girl in my class at school for some time. Now the prom is coming up and I think I should make some kind of move. But the thing is, I don't know what to do. It's not that I'm shy or anything, but I just don't know how to let her know I'm interested.
The answer, young man, is vigorous dancing. All women like to be vigorously danced, some of them more than once. The animal kingdom is full of males displaying to their mates by vigorous dancing, and a school dance is the ideal place to show off your talents. And remember, the secret is in the vigorous, not the dancing.
And Linda from Edinburgh says, my husband has recently taken to wearing a Viking helmet and hopping to work. He claims this is in the fine tradition of British eccentricity, but I have my doubts.
Being eccentric is a very English kind of thing. As a Scotsman, your husband is actually a bampot.
While Lucy from Santa Fe is facing up to this. My hubby is always complaining that I never give him anything decent to eat. I have a regular schedule, you see. Pizza on Monday, pot roast on Tuesday, you get the idea. Anyway, his lordship always wants what's on the menu the day before it's due, which just isn't convenient, what with my judo lessons. Any suggestions would be welcome.
Excuse me for going off on a wee bit of a tangent here, but I assume you know the difference between astrology and astronomy. Well, the same thing applies in the kitchen. Forget your gastronomy and study gastrology so you'll know what he wants for his dinner tomorrow.
Tony from Winnipeg comes to us with this. I was watching a red movie on the DVD the other day when the wife walked in and caught me blue-handed. Any good excuses?
Have you ever been checked for color blindness?
Jimmy from New York has this problem. I'm in love with an older woman. She is 10 and I am 8. Do you think there is any future in our relationship?
Go on yourself, wee man. Far be it from me to stand in the way of young love, but if you are considering heading down to the town hall to make it official, do make sure that you get a prenuptial contract. A man has to defend his PlayStation.
Sam from London says, my mate said it wasn't good for me to mix my drinks when we're down the pub. How does that work? It's all just alcohol, isn't it?
A common mistake, boy. What you've got to remember is that when you get squiffy on vodka, you're Russian drunk. When you get pissed on brandy, you're French drunk. And when you get legless on rum, you're Caribbean drunk. This is very confusing for your body, which was under the impression that you were English.
John from Glasgow asks, my wife and I recently got married and we are now planning a family. What do you think is the ideal size for a family?
Assuming you mean once they are fully grown, it suggests 205 inches as the size for the perfect family. That's one lad at 6 foot, one at 5'8", and a lassie at 5 foot 5 inches.
Thank you, Willie, and I'm afraid that's all we have time for on this episode of Willie's Wisdom. Join us again for more pearls of wisdom from the Scottish sage.
Hi, my name's Gurmeet Mattu, and I'm the creator of these comedy animations here on YouTube. If you enjoyed them, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like to support my work, you can do that by visiting patreon.com/gurmeetmattu. Thank you.